Well-deserved applause, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's all about. That's the team of the century. And congratulations to Bill Owens, who, of course, led the video production there. Well done, Bill. And the voice, of course, the voice of Rick Wade. I'll be introducing him formally to you a little later this evening, but what a man he's been for Wests. In fact, I feel rather humble in his shadow tonight, being up here to fill the gaps ahead of some of the interviews that he'll be presenting for you as we move through the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, just confirming our team of the century there. Fullback, of course, Frank McMillan. On the wings, Peter Dimond and Alan Ridley. The centres, Cliff Pearce and Harry Wells. The 5'8" was Vic Hey. The halfback, Keith Holman. The lock, Les Boyd. Second row, Kel O'Shea and Arthur Clues. The front row, John Donnelly and Tedda Courtney. The hooker, Noel Kelly. And the reserves, Neville Charlton, John Dorahy, Tom Raudonikis and Bill Carson. The captain, Noel Kelly, and the coach, of course, Roy Masters. Congratulations all. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now going to move to a very important part of the evening, and that's the unveiling of a painting, a work of art. You could say that Western Suburbs over the past century has been a form of a work of art, and this is bringing together the team of the century on canvas. To do that, I'd like to make welcome to the stage the chairman of West Ashfield, Peter Hardgrove, and welcome back to the stage the chairman of West Magpies, Kevin Hammond. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is to be one of the moments of the night. If we can have your attention now, we will have the official unveiling of a fine work of art that has been commissioned and put together by artist Dave Thomas. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go with the team of the century for the mighty Western Suburbs Magpies. Well, I think you'll agree it's a fine work of art, full of fine players, and of course our coach there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like now to call to the stage Dave Thomas, the artist who's made it all possible, to tell us a little bit about how it's all come together. It is truly a work of art. Dave Thomas, the artist. First up, on behalf of everyone who's a magpie at heart, Dave, congratulations for what you've done for the club. And it's great to know that the Western Suburbs spirit is well and truly within you and within the brush.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Dave Thomas, the artist, ladies and gents. Right now, I would like to make welcome a man that I mentioned just a moment ago, a man who's done a stalwart job for Western Suburbs for a long time. He was to the fore in keeping the club alive when there was a real assault against West back in the early 1980s. I mentioned him a moment ago. He was the voice, of course, that you heard in the Team of the Century video just a moment ago, which also can be bought tonight. And, of course, I speak of Rick Wade. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Rick Wade.
Thank you, Mike. Evening, everybody.
I brought Rick to the stage right now because, in fact, very shortly he's going to be bringing a very important piece of memorabilia to Western Suburbs.
Well, I hope so. That'll come up in a little while. I just wanted Mike to endorse your comments regarding Billy Owen's contribution to that video. CB to Owens, sensational, and I think it should get a round of applause once more. And also, Mike, we're so fortunate with Jimmy Sharman. I mean, in terms of getting footage of those players of the 30s and the 40s, it was going to be impossible. And the thought came that Jimmy Sharman would be an ideal link. Unfortunately, Jimmy couldn't come along tonight. He's about a week away from being 92. He's officially a legend of the state. Bob Carr gave him that award at the last Royal Easter Show for all of the show business, as Jimmy says, in their family. But he's a fantastic bloke, sharp as a tack. And he apologised for not coming tonight, but He was the great thread that put it all together. It's one of the greatest moments of my life, one of the great mornings, going along with Billy and enjoying Jimmy's company and getting the wisdom of those comments. And also, there's a gentleman here tonight. I've been West over the years. I've had a lot of internationals, and he's just joined the throng. One of the selectors, co-selectors for Team of the Century, John Hayes. Chow Hayes is going to be the Kangaroo Tour manager. Could you take a bow, Chow?
Another Magpie Kangaroo.
It is. Chow played for the state, of course, a couple of times, and also over 100 games for the Magpies. It's great to see him in that blazer, or we look forward to seeing him in the blazer. It's very well deserved. Chow, of course, one of the selectors, and we're about to call up on stage the captain of the team. And if you've got any complaints about that, well, Chow's the bloke to see, right? After seeing that video of Ned in action, how did he get to be captain? And would Noel Kelly please come on up? And also the coach, Roy Masters. As giving Ned a microphone is a dangerous thing to do. But Ned, how do you feel about being captain of a side like that?
Well, Rick, I'm humbled, to be quite frank, when you look in 100 years and whatever it is of rugby league, and you find yourself standing up here and you're lucky to make the team, and all of a sudden they make you captain. What can I say? It's sort of I must owe it to Chow, I reckon.
All those drinks with him, you think, over the years?
Beg your pardon?
All those drinks you had with him over the years?
Well, it has cost me a fair few.
But what aside, have you had a chance to think about leading them onto the paddock and what had happened? Would it be the old Keith Miller cricket expression, once they got through the gate, just scatter, they'd know what to do themselves? Or what role would you have to play, do you think?
Well, when I was captain coach of West, and you must remember that after 1963, we lost a lot of players in the retirement of Kel and Harry and Yappy. And, of course, there were a few big holes there to fill. And I've got to say that the young chaps that came on over the years from the Western Suburbs were guys from the Western Suburbs Junior Rugby League. And there was Enfield Federals and those places, It was hello, Roy.
Those blokes like Jimmy Cody and Chow.
I need rear vision mirrors. Anyway, when
Blokes like Johnny Armstrong.
John Armstrong, Jimmy Cody, and also chaps like Paddy Thomas, Dennis Meaney, and Timmy Murphy, Stevie Winter. And these are guys, that they were all striving to fill the bill of the people, Boxhead Charltons and that had left the club. And we were trying to make a name for ourselves. And I must say this, that when I came down here in 1961 from Queensland, I was raw as meat. I didn't know what was going on. Chris and I had a couple of kids, and we were just doing the best we can. We're going to see if we can get a life for ourselves, you see. And Bill Beaver came along, and Jimmy Sharman, the old bastard, I had to fight the cook in his joint up there one night. So, I mean, it wasn't easy. And it was only because he gave me a flogging that I had to sign the back of the coaster. But in those days, there was rugby league, the QRL, the NRL, the ARL, and that was it, the New South Wales Rugby League. And then we had all the junior clubs. And the day that we lost that was the day that Super League put its foot in the door. Now, this isn't a political speech, but what I'm saying is, for those guys that I was coaching, the Cody, Armstrong, Hornery, heaps of blokes, to get graded into first grade at Western Suburbs was more than they ever expected. Everybody strived, all those bloody kids, they wanted to strive and just get a magpie on their chest here, And I mean, that bloody magpie, once you put it on your chest, you die for it, I'll tell you. I bloody die for it. And maybe I'm getting a bit carried away, I'm not even pissed, but what I'm just saying, But I just trying to get through. There's probably a few people in here, in this room, who've been invited tonight to come to a good night, and they don't understand what it's like to be a Westie or a Magpie. But there's those of us who are lucky enough to be in the situation. We just have that thing about that bloody magpie on our chest, and that's a something, you know. And if you're if I live over in Silvertail territory, but I can assure you that whenever I'm there, the old magpie doesn't get a bag, and I can assure you that. And I got plenty of support. Chow and Marty and they all live there as well.
Well, reunion time, I think it's a bus of about 30 or 40 if you come over together from over there, but we won't go on to that. I did ask you the question about leading the team, but if you had, in your days at West as captain, as you did, and coach, Jimmy Cody and Neville Hornery in the side, you're up for anything, mate. You could handle it all right.
Well...
They were fairly fiery characters, weren't they?
See, the funny...
Snoozer Elford came along. He's here tonight, by the way. Snoozer was part of that too.
He's mad. He's a mad, that Snoozer. His mother made me promise that I'd never let him be in the forwards. Can you believe it? Jesus.
Another promise you broke.
Another promise. What a wonderful player. But those were the days, and we probably had as much fun after we'd made the 3 grand finals and we were unlucky enough not to win one, but we did do the best we could. And in the years that I enjoyed as a Magpie, all these young fellas came up and we won our share of games, but we also learned a few lessons in life. And I've got to tell you this, after I'd finished with West, here I go again, I went over and coached Norths. And I can assure you there's 2 types of toughness when you're playing rugby league. There's the Western Suburbs toughness and the North Shore toughness. And I'll tell you what, I'll back the bloody Western Suburbs toughness every time you go around.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain of West Team of the Century, Noel Kelly.
Thank you.